Hello and welcome to the show. We are here on Forza 7 today, building another Rallycross car. Our vehicle of choice is the Holden Commodore, a car very well known for its prowess in touring car racing, but quite how it's going to do on the Rallycross circuit, I have no idea. I do know, though, that the Commodore is a very, very good class racer, if you like, in a Forza. So here is hoping, although that does tend to be for the lower classes. I've had success building these cars for lower classes, been very, very quick, but don't know what it's going to do when it's coming up towards S-Class. We shall start with the tyres. Now, while, yes, our Rallycross circuit is going to be tackling bits of dirt, predominantly the track is still tarmac, and the Virginia International South layout we are going to is a technical one. Is a very technical one indeed. There is a long straight, but the rest of it is a bit of a fiddle, so yeah, race tyres are a good idea. Plus, we've got plenty of PI to play around with this vehicle. I actually think this might be the first car to use an engine swap to get it to the top of S-Class. Again, another one of the rules that we have in this series. The cars must use their standard engine if that will get it to the top of S-Class. Now, so far, the vehicles have been okay. A couple of cars have been getting a little bit close to the limits of what I can do with their standard engines. This I am kind of expecting it, although that being said, it's not a terrible engine at all in this car. So maybe on second thought, maybe it will work with the standard engine. We will have to see. If we do have to swap, there are plenty of options: 2.6 i6, 6.2 V8, or the 5.9 V8 Racing. Oh, that's the that's a NASCAR engine in that. That'd probably be quite quick. We do need, of course, to have the vehicle all-wheel drive again. Another rule for this series, all of the cars must be all-wheel drive converted. We'll up the weight by a couple of £100, but that's going to help a lot when it comes to the gravel. Now, twin turbo or supercharger? Turbo will get us more power overall. Supercharger will probably make a cooler noise. But we're probably going to need all... Well, maybe we'll build the engine up first, naturally aspirated, and see how much power we are lacking. If we are lacking any power. Cams are a good place to start with. That jumps us up almost an entire class. 75 horsepower, jumping the car up almost an entire class. That's actually quite impressive. Well done. Well done indeed. Yeah, it might just make it with the standard engine. This will probably be the closest we've pushed it with a car. By the looks of it, the finished power figures on this, we're probably going to be looking at around about the 550-ish horsepower mark, which is not too shabby for a vehicle run in this series. And at 2,000, well, £800 probably by the time we've stuck a big turbo on it. Yeah, they're okay figures. Of course, the handling is where this car is probably going to be strongest from my past experience. It's got some big tyres, good chassis, so I would expect to see this handling very nicely. Oh, there we go. So it's going to be actually up to 600 horsepower. 600 horsepower, 2,700 pounds. They're good numbers. They are good numbers indeed for this car. I think we just about got everything else stuck on the vehicle that we can. So it is kind of at the limit of what I can do with the standard engine here. But that's okay. That's okay. We have got it to the top of the PI. Now, I'm not going for quite the top flywheel because we are going to hopefully get on some other parts here. Ooh, maybe we will have to go for the top flywheel. Of course, when I change the driveline in the car, all of this stuff here does get changed along the way. We'll save a little bit away. The shift time differences are utterly irrelevant because I run manual with clutch. That sort of stuff only helps, I believe, if you're running automatic gearbox, from what I have heard. The little bit of weight out of the car is always nice, and if we can fit it in the PI, but if not, it's no real issue. We get down to £2,700 exactly with that, and the clutch will put us over. There we go, 2,700 exactly. Near enough 600 horsepower in the Commodore. They're good figures. They're good figures. They put us around about the area the Subaru Impreza ran. Bigger tyres, I think, than the Impreza as well. So, maybe the HDT is going to stand a real chance of challenging the Subaru. So, to test out our Commodore, we have come to the south layout of VIR, well, our special rendition, shall we say, of the south layout. I'm going to have 5 laps in the Holden to try and beat a 1:14.3, the time laid down by the Subaru. In fact, Subaru the only car into the 14s at all around this stage. If we could get the Holden into the 14s, I'd be very happy, let alone getting near a 14.3. Lancia 37's at 15.2, Evo 10's at 15.6, Quattro, the benchmark car, is at a 15.8. I feel like this car might be able to compete with those. Looking at the stats on the car and knowing how these vehicles drive, I feel like this should certainly, I mean, Lincoln Continental was a 15.9. This should be a better choice of car for Rallycross. Okay, we don't have quite the same power as the Lincoln, but we are considerably lighter than that vehicle. But of course, we're doing something that Forza 7 was not exactly intended for, and quite how some cars are going to react to this, we don't really know. I'm starting to get a little bit of a picture, but enough to form solid guesstimates on vehicle performance, not quite so much. My initial impressions of this car through the first couple of corners seems pretty decent. Under brakes, I wouldn't say any massively remarkable characteristics from the car, but certainly nothing that's suddenly making me go, oh crap, we're going to have big problems here. A little bit understeery on the way into this sort of dirt hairpin area, if you like. Oh, very, very slidey on the way. We were a little wide on the way in, and the only way to counter that was with a very, very big slide through all of that. Not sure it was massively quick, but there we go. Oh, we're not going to be flat through there, that much is for sure. Not many cars have been. The Quattro that set the benchmark at the start of this series, that was, but otherwise we have been struggling with getting cars to carry the speed through all of that. How are we going to do top-end-wise? An opening lap, an 18.9 is not bad, actually. It's cool for an opening lap, considering, you know, that is from a considerably slower start. Can we break that? Yeah, we can. We can get away with braking at the start of the cones. That's not a problem. I probably wouldn't want to be much later than that. I was actually too busy focusing on my braking point. Didn't pay attention to how fast I was going. We'll have a look next, well, maybe next time around. We'll see. Oh, that feels a bit quick up there. No, it's still doing a good job of getting itself slowed down, which I like to see. Now, into the fiddly off-road section. It looks simple. Like, the route that we have here looks simple. It's actually very easy to lose a lot of time through these corners. Actually very, very easy to lose a lot of time through these corners, as we are about to demonstrate here. It's quite tight on the inside of the way through there. Now, I can flick the car back the other way, try and straighten it up onto the tarmac a little bit better. I don't think we did too badly in all of that in terms of time loss. Or I think the front end, it doesn't lift off the ground, but when we get that weight transfer back, we kind of unload the front tyres a little bit, and there's a sudden bit of understeer that goes on with the car if I'm not too careful. It does feel like it's moving around a little bit more than I would like. A 16.6 for an opening flying lap. Might have hoped for a little bit more, but there is still plenty of time. I think that's just shy of 160 miles an hour in terms of top speed. It's there. It's there. It's in the region. I think the Subaru was up to about 160 at that point on the circuit as well. I think the Evo 10 was doing fairly similar. It's about average in terms of the speed. Oh, we're on 2 wheels slightly, I think, there on the way down the hill. Now, we're not too bad through this first section. It's the hairpin where things went wrong last time out. Definitely think there is more time to be found in the hairpin. Now, smoother on the way in. There's going to be a little bit of handbrake on the way in. There we go. Now we can straight line the exit. Lovely. That's more like it, I think. Little wide on the exit. Yeah, we found a second. With that much neater straight line exit, we found a second. It's a big chunk. I think we were, okay, maybe it's about 7 tenths. I think we're about 3 tenths up from the first sector. But, yeah, trying to get out of that dirt hairpin is so very, very important. And if you're floundering around sideways, there is a way to get through there sideways very quickly, but very, very easy to cock it up. A 15.4, even quicker in the final sector. That's more like it from the Commodore. still over a second down on the Impreza, and I'm just not sure I've got the speed here to even, I don't know where I'd find a second. That lap was pretty damn good. That lap was pretty damn good indeed. Maybe a little bit neater and tidier through this opening section, potentially. But even then, yeah, it's not going to be a second, I don't think. That's not the tough bit. I say that's not the tough bit. It can be the tough bit. This is where we tend to see the big time losses going on with cars. I'm actually a little bit wide on the way in there. It will be another good exit. Will be a nice straight exit. Try and keep it off the grass there. Yeah, lost a little bit more time. It's too wide on the way in. There is a fine line. A fine line indeed through all of that. Oh god, we're almost up on two wheels once more. Slightly rallycrossing down that part. It's not required for a lap here, but there we go. I do think I was perhaps maybe a tad dodgy into the final corner. Okay, bear in mind, Subaru's lap time was also set with a scary moment in the final turn, wheel on the curb on the outside of the last corner. This is the final lap for the Commodore. Can I find any more speed? We need a couple of tenths if we're going to beat the Lancia 037, and that might just be doable. I think if we get everything perfect around the lap, that's nice. Through turn one. That is nice indeed. There was a tenth in all of that break as we go down through the dip. Now, oh god. So when you sort of transfer onto that grass, suddenly the understeer kicks in, the entire car is just heading towards, or it slightly changes direction almost as to where you are expecting it to be going. It's a difficult thing to describe unless you give it a try. Now, we are going again for that similar, oh, it might have overshot a little bit on the way in, so I'm going to now counter it on the exit. I don't think that's going to work for the Commodore. Oh, no, okay, we lost a little bit of time. Not too bad, though. If we can get the final corner spot on. Oh, I can't get the penultimate corner spot on. God, that's just trying to find all of this speed in places. Anywhere I can find speed, anywhere I can be a little bit braver. I think we got the final couple of corners well, but that trip across the grass might have cost us. It doesn't! Oh, those final turn is what did it. Well, it's kind of 2-in-1 turn, sort of. It's a weird corner. It's a weird corner to describe. Even with a little trip across the grass, even with a little trip across the grass, it is going to go second. It's a good time. It's a very good time from the Commodore. That 15.1 will see it ahead of the Lancia 037. It's only a tenth, but it does beat the 037. It beats the Evo 10, beats the Audi Quattro. Thankfully, for Holden fans out there, it beats the Lincoln Continental, the big luxury boat. The big luxury boat was surprisingly good around here. I mean, this was a car that I expected to be fast. This was a car I expected to be good, very good, around this circuit, and it is only 0.8 of a second faster than the Continental. And I think that, again, is another car that puts into context just how good the Lincoln actually was around here. But all of that being said, we are still 0.8 of a second down on the Subaru. 0.8 of a second down on the Subaru. This has been a very, very close series in terms of lap times. And again, this goes to show, continues to go to show just how quick the 15 Impreza was. It's going to take some car. If this thing can't even get into the 14s, it's going to take some vehicle to challenge the Subaru. But there we go. I like the Holden. Very much like it indeed. Held it all together on the final relatively high pressure lap. There were a couple of quick laps with this car. Overall. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye. We're also wandering across the circuit. Apparently this is where the Commodore wanted to go.